To talk about them. Bye.
Good evening, everybody. What's going on out there? Want to welcome you to Hot Topics. We are live on tonight. It's the two gentlemen. On tonight. We may have some female flavor in just a moment, but we did make history. We do have our second gentleman today. So I think it's appropriate that we got two gentlemen on tonight. And so welcome to Hot Topics, man. Good to have you on. We got some sad news coming out of Hot Topics camp. Since no longer 45, we lost the co-host. The bishop had signed the bishop had signed off, said nothing else to talk about. She ran out of riddles, ran out of rhymes, so we're replacing. So we're
she was our 45 correspondent. So
right, she was our 45 correspondent. At 12 o'clock, her services was no longer needed, and so we're sending out new. We need a new 46 correspondent. So if you're out there and you want to send some applications to the Hot Topics crew, come on in, and we'll be more than happy. We'll be more than happy to have you. No, we just so that's the way it goes. Hey man, I noticed. Are you still in Florida? Because I noticed the temperature is different.
Yeah, I'm in Florida, but man, it was a cold.
It's real cold where you at, man.
I'm in Florida, but history was made today, man. It is minus 45.
Minus 45, man. You ain't even got on no jacket.
No, I just got on a little something. It's all right. But this is the first time in the history of this country that the temperature has been the same in every single state. Can you believe that?
My God.
Every single
state. How did God do that?
I don't know. It was, he done did it again. Another miracle. Minus 45 in every single state in the United States of America.
One of the things about God is he's still working miracles every single day. And we saw a miracle today. We saw an inauguration.
Yeah.
And, a whole guy was missing. A whole guy was missing. History was made today, and we're going to get to that in a moment, but it was somebody missing. We'll get back to the missing link in a moment, but the two guy show is over. We got a lady. Yeah.
Got my pearls.
A lady in her pearls. Whoa.
Too. Are your Chucks on?
Where the Chucks?
I got my Chucks on. I got my little red Chucks to match my open door shirt now.
Can you get your leg that high? Can we see the Chucks?
No, my leg's short, Pastor.
Wow, man. What can we say about today? This is a day that a lot of people been waiting on, right? We've been waiting, I think, since 2017 inauguration. We've been waiting on this. We've been waiting on this moment all our lives. It seems like. Wow. What can we say about today? For whatever political party you belong to, right? I think one of the things that we can honestly say is that the climate has changed, right? The normalcy of just a political speech that wasn't vulgar, that was without cuss words, anger, division. You know, I think 45 was the first president to like really curse on TV like normal. And you know, to hear just decency. Forget about politics for a moment. Forget about that for a moment. Just to hear my American people, you know, not you Democrats, or just to hear that, to me, I don't know. First takes of the inauguration. That's what I got from all of the things that I've heard today. Is that I just saw and heard unity. Nikisha, out of all the things that you saw today, what were some of the glaring things that stuck out?
I made a post that I felt like a sense of calmness, like it was just like smooth, and the energy was different. Like everybody, you could sense that everybody really wants to come together. That's what I saw, and everybody was just like you could see the embrace of change amongst some of them. So I just felt like a sense of peace, a sense of calm, a sense of unity, love over hatred. Those are some of the things that I got from today's historic moment.
Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I think part of it was to kind of piggyback off what you said. It felt like decency was back. To hear something that sounded presidential in a speech was really nice. And just overall, I think it was, I think they did a great job putting it together. I think it was really balanced. I think it was well done. And it was also good to see some people from the other side of the political spectrum there supporting as well. Still got some issues with some of them because they kind of waited till now to try to do or say the right thing. But it was good to see them there supporting. It was good to see Mike Pence there supporting, just to kind of show like, look, we can disagree on politics, but still agree that we are American. So just very decent, very well put together. Obviously Michelle Obama stuck out to me as she always does.
We're
gonna talk about that. When she walked through in that burgundy, man, I was like, whoa, alrighty, Michelle. But I think it was great. What was interesting to me is that this was kind of troubling, honestly, that a part of me during this whole thing had some level of fear for the safety of the president and the vice president.
I thought I was the only one who felt like that.
I don't think we're supposed to feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a part of me was, and obviously I had been praying for them as well, just for the safety of everyone, no matter who it is. But I thought that was weird, that I felt that. I'm like, because of the climate lately, I mean, because of the attack on the Capitol a couple weeks ago, you see what the far right, not only what they're capable of, but the level of violence that they're willing to use. So that was kind of troubling to me. So I was really happy that we got through it without any incidents, and I know that the security was beefed up. So, but that was kind of troubling to me that I felt that.
It's interesting you say that, because I was kind of like, you almost felt like, are we gonna live a John F. Kennedy moment, man? Like, and that happened in 1963. Think about that for a moment. We're in 2021, and a lot of people, I felt this way too. I won't say a lot of people. I think some people are really in the back of their mind are saying to themselves, are we going to have a John F. Kennedy moment from 1963? As Americans, I don't think we're supposed to be feeling this kind of way. But January the 6th is going to go down in history. Because January 6th was the day that we thought was going to be a normal day, and we sat back and watched the unthinkable happen, that our capital got attacked.
by
By
Americans.
Americans. And it caused, think about this for a moment. Let's look at our financial situation for a moment. It cost 20,000 armed troops to have to be centered around the Capitol. They say 200 times more than the normal. First of all, think about how much money January 6th cost us. And it's interesting because, the Republicans are supposed to be conservative when it comes to the checkbook, right? But think about what happened on January 6th and how much it cost us, because we had to owe 25,000. She should just be on the show, right? Is she gonna come? Never mind. All right. Anyway, 25,000 troops had to be placed, and there were several arrests throughout this time. There were several people arrested. One got arrested that had fake credentials with loaded guns. So as you can tell,
and
somebody was going to try.
Officers were also sent from various places. We had two.
Yeah.
We had two agencies down here in South Florida that sent officers, and they got deputized as U.S. Marshals so that they could act if they needed to. And so not even just federally, but local police went to beef up security as well. So that costs. Okay,
Right.
All of that.
Because I don't think you would have went there for free.
Oh, I wouldn't. we wouldn't even go there for regular time. Like time and a half plus
right.
room.
That's straight time and a half from when my feet hit off the precinct.
Right away, plus room and board and meals and travel.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about this is that we needed to beef up security, not because of a foreign threat. We have to beef up security because of homegrown threats.
From what it is.
From people that say that they love this country, that this is about loving this country.
Right. And, well, I think if anything good happened from January 6th is we started to see some separation, right? We started to see some people wake up. Mike Pence, he didn't go anywhere near Trump today. I think the last conversation they had was probably the last conversation they'll ever have. Mike Pence wanted no part of the farewell speech. He didn't go to the Air Force Base. Apparently, he couldn't be there. He couldn't be there and at the inauguration at the same time, even though it was about an hour apart. Just, hey man, can't make it. That was glaring to me. And if you notice, when Mike Pence first walked in, he was kind of like off to the side. Nobody talked to him, just him and his wife. And I think Clinton might have been the first person to kind of make that contact. Because, he don't know. He's so attached to 45. You could tell he felt uncomfortable. But you could start to see, Nikisha, the Republicans, at least some of the sensible ones, starting to break rank at this moment. If nothing else, for the sake of unity for today. Today it was important for America.
Yeah.
Today was important for America. This is something, the transferring of power is not something new.
Right.
We go through this every 4 or 8 years. But for some reason, we allowed a guy to come in and say, hey, I don't want to do none of the stuff y'all doing. He came in saying, I'm not a politician. He left office being anti-political.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's an embarrassment.
Sure.
And if you feel I'm wrong, comment on it. To me, it's an embarrassment to say that I was a sitting president and now I'm not gonna even attend nothing. I'm going my own way. I'm a hold out and staying here as long as possible. I'm gonna make you late, Joe. Just the things that were happening leading up to that, to me, was just asinine. I don't know if you all started watching it early enough, but I started seeing that and I was like, man, this is some real childish stuff I'm watching, man.
Yeah, and I think
Agreed.
I posted this earlier that what he did today, or did not do rather, was a exclamation point on the classlessness of his presidency. And I wasn't shocked by it, because this is who he's shown us he is. Like, this is who he is. He's classless. He's not cordial. If it don't go his way, he will pout and just separate himself from it and just go do his own thing. He won't play nicely, right? So there was no shock to me, and it's just like, this isn't even about tradition or about politics. It's just about, this is just the right thing to do. You lost, whether you believe it or not. You lost, okay, and do the right thing. Like, do the right thing. Try to leave a sweeter taste in the people's mouths. Just try. You know, it's gonna take a whole lot of sweet to cover up that sour, but at least try to show some level of class. And he just didn't do it.
But Nikisha, I'm looking at, you know, I'm a history buff. I love this president stuff. And so I venture back to the last guy who really got impeached, like for real, Richard Nixon and Watergate. New, transferring of power, of course, is not new. Being impeached is not new. But
get it up right, but you know.
for people, and this is why it's important as we go on to today's events, it's important. You said something significant. Teaching our children how to lose. Listen, Nikisha, you got children. You're not gonna win everything, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing is worse than a sore loser. I'm not gonna win. I didn't win this state. I'm gonna take my ball and run. I'm gonna knock over the chessboard. This is not American principles, and anybody that can embrace that, to me, man, I don't know if we can really be cool, because it's a way to do things.
Absolutely.
Listen, Hillary Clinton showed up to Trump's inauguration. She had more votes. She showed up. Showed up. Herbert Walker Bush, when he lost to Clinton, showed up. It's just certain things you do, in my opinion. Again, Nikisha, when you look at things like that, what do you think it says to just generation? The world was watching today, right? What does it say? But I got to know. No, I got a different question. Was it a blessing in disguise that he wasn't there?
You want me to answer this question?
Could you imagine the faces? Well, you wouldn't have saw his face, because that joker would have had to wear a mask for the first time ever, right?
Around everybody else, correct.
Because, hey, one new rule we see,
everybody.
Hey, if you come in the show, guess what? You're going to have a mask on, right?
Mask up.
Did you see...
What's crazy is
oh God! Did you see Mitch McConnell? You could tell he didn't have a mask nowhere. You could tell they gave him a little rough. Did you see the paper mask?
He had one at the door. He ain't had one.
He the only one. You could tell he the only one that ain't wearing masks, because him and his wife, the only two got the tip.
Fools.
What's crazy is that a part of me is glad he wasn't there, just because it would have, in a sense, it would have become about him. Right.
Absolutely.
And what was funny to me is, and I pointed this out to Jasmika, that they did not mention him at all. Like they at times he was referred to, but his name was not said. Okay.
Not one
at all.
time.
His initials, not nothing.
Right.
Just
right.
Like, and in my mind, I'm like, they said, okay, if you don't want to be here, then you really not gonna be here. We're gonna make sure.
He even addressed the president by saying to the presidents of both parties that wanted to be here. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
That's what
And
he
he gave a
said.
shout out to Jimmy Carter, who couldn't be there
Right.
because
Yes, he did.
he knocking, man, but he
Right,
couldn't be
right.
there. But he said, I talked to Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
So you're right. But what's so interesting is, man, this club, right?
Yeah.
These are all the living presidents: Carter, Bush,
Bush,
Clinton,
Clinton.
Obama. It's a club.
Yeah.
It's only 4 of them, 5 of them at this point that are living.
Mhm.
You gotta know that 45 is never gonna be in the picture with the rest of these guys.
Never.
I don't see him being invited to anything related to presidential.
But he probably wouldn't even accept it anyways. He wouldn't want to go.
Like, why
You're
even?
not smart enough.
Why invite him?
And we saw on display today how this thing could get real yummy and chummy, because we saw the resurgence of the Bush and Obama love affair. And I'm not talking about and I'm not talking about Barack
Nope.
and George W. I'm talking about
Michelle,
George W. and Michelle.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
yes.
I don't know, guys, but somewhere
Y'all, if you finna start something now.
somewhere in the back of my mind, George W. got a thing
For a sister.
Oh, we love her. We love her.
for
I don't
Sister
blame him now.
Michelle.
We love her, boy.
When Michelle is around, George W. gonna be right there.
He moving furniture for
He
Michelle.
moving
Yes, sir.
furniture
Just
Listen.
smiling. Just a
at
smile.
his daddy's funeral. Him and Michelle was holding hands
Yes.
at
You
his
see how she
daddy's
looking
funeral,
though.
man.
Sat right next to her. Sat right next
George,
to her.
you're supposed to be grieving, brother.
Yes.
You're supposed to be grieving. But for some reason, when Michelle Obama comes around, oh, George W.
I think she do it to us all though. All of us get
Listen.
geek when Michelle, when she come through. I think today, I was
And
just like,
listen, let me tell
Lord.
you something. I almost lost my marriage. I almost lost my marriage today. I had to repent. I went on a 30 minutes extra fast today.
Oh
You
God.
know, we in our
Pastor.
seat, I had to give God an extra 30 minutes. But listen, when that dress hit my television screen, listen, I wasn't ready for that.
None of us was.
I'm kind of glad the bishop took the night off. I'm just gonna be. I might well be honest. It might well get real hot, because it got real hot for about 30 seconds. I wasn't ready for it. Now I wasn't ready for it.
I was blown away, man. I was blown away.
Me and George W. almost had something in common, boy. Because I would have fastened some peppermints too.
Yeah, man. Listen, that George love him some Michelle. You hear me?
Yes, he does.
I don't blame him, man.
But you can't blame him.
You can't blame him, man. You can't
blame him.
But you know, it goes to show you that you can differ in politics. But if you're just a good person, if you're good people,
a good person, your heart is good. Absolutely.
Be alone. Right. Those are people that have a good heart. You know, Bush obviously was a Republican. There's a lot of things we disagreed with, you know, but man, after he became president, he became so beloved by even the Democrats. Especially with the relationship between them and the Obamas. But
he was never a bad person.
Right. He was never a bad
person. Nobody really hated him.
Right.
They just, they called him Dumb W. They just thought he just didn't know very much. That was his nickname, you know.
Right. That relationship between the two of them is a good representation of what our political system should be.
I don't know. Sometimes when I look at them,
listen,
I know that Obama
about
Barack had to have some conversation in the limo with Michelle. Like, come on now, like everywhere, because it's just what we see with the cameras on. He gotta say that. Come on, man. Did George write you a note too when he got in the White House? I don't know. Because man, but it goes to show, again, going back to the optics, it goes to show that you can have an opposite opinion of
Opposite,
somebody
absolutely.
and still love them, which is what America and godly principles should be about.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
And what we have seen is that we've allowed somebody to come in who ironically was labeled as the godly one, come in and separate us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now what we're starting to see prayerfully is that we can come back to the table and begin to love each other again. Because as we've said on this show, leadership comes from the top. Everything rises and falls in leadership. And as the leadership in the White House begin to be divisive, it trickled down into America.
Yeah,
And that's not a political. That is not a political statement. Those are facts.
Right. The country will really, even without trying, I think the country will have the fingerprint of the leader, and that's just what it's going to be. And we saw that. We saw how divided the country became because of what was being said from the White House. So that's why it's important. And him 45 being labeled as the godly president was just mind-blowing to me. That was really mind-blowing to me, because I just don't understand how you can be so shallow to just look at someone's policies and say that they're the godly president. I mean, who knows if he even agrees with those policies? He's just doing it because that's what he's probably supposed to do for that side of the party. You know what I mean?
Right.
But look at the person. Okay, what fruit is he bearing? You know what I mean? So I lose respect for Christians and even Christian leaders that go beyond just supporting him politically and trying to convince people that he's the godly president, because nothing about him showed me godly. It just did. And I would say that whether he was president, whether, or not, nothing about him said godly to me. Not even the way he talked to people.
Right. Yeah, you said a mouthpiece there. And I think that's what we started to see now. We don't know if we can't, you don't know how people feel about God. You don't know their real inner relationship with God. But if we look at Joe Bible,
you go, Pastor.
Hey, Joe Bible said,
listen.
Yes, sir.
Joe looked like he got
listen.
Joe looked like he got sworn in on a stack of Bibles.
Listen, man. I saw a post that said he must have got that from King James himself. I believe it.
What size print? That Bible.
That's got to be at least.
That got to be magnified.
Y'all horrible.
Listen, I'm sitting right next to my book.
Horrible.
Right? I'm sitting right next to my bookshelf, and I'm just like, I gotta step my Bible game up. Like I got different translations and just all kind of Bibles and Bibles. But man,
horrible.
That Bible, like, I'm just so ashamed at my Bible collection.
Your collection.
Yeah, like it's just so normal. Like, I mean, it's just normally sized. Like, I really gotta.
They said it's a family Bible passed down. Well, who was it passed down through? Sarah? Who gave it? Abraham?
Somebody said, I want arms as strong as Jill.
Yeah, man, get out of here.
Yeah. Listen. She had to hold that Bible.
Yeah,
that Bible came with it. I guarantee you that Bible got its own
God.
Y'all
are horrible.
Listen, man. Listen, that's the only Bible you can use to preach and to do some curls, some bicep curls. I'm telling you. Listen, man. Can you imagine walking up to the pulpit with that thing? You need a wheelbarrow to get it up there.
Exactly. You need his own little wheels. Yes, sir.
I thought I was the only one, man.
That's the indication
how I saw that Bible. Hey, when I saw that Bible, I knew we was gonna get a sermon. Listen, when I saw that Bible, I knew we were gonna get a sermon today.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
You know, when he started quoting "Weeping may do it for a night,"
yeah.
I said, that sermon coming. That's
Y'all are horrible. What is going? Y'all
I'm just ashamed, man, that the president got a
have to
bigger
do a
Bible than
faster
me,
extra.
man. I'm ashamed that the president got a bigger Bible than me, man. Like what?
so let's look at contrast. We see Biden got the King James Bible, and Trump got an iPad.
I'm gonna go. Bye, y'all.
See, Trump got the same size Bible. He is just on a prop. You see?
Listen, his wife didn't even want to touch it. She didn't want to touch
Right.
it. You see it.
You
She
can
said,
see it all in the face.
She
She
said,
probably
"No,
like,
I'm-"
what is
she
this?
said, I'm-"
What is this? What is this? This is your Bible. What
listen,
is
I won't be surprised if there wasn't no words on them pages in that Bible. That is
Oh, God.
Hey, that Bible probably still had the tag on it,
just
man.
a book cover.
When he bought that Bible.
Just a book cover. Ain't no words on it. He
Oh,
bought
my
ain't read it.
God.
He bought ain't read it. Ain't no
He
words
come
on
with
it.
the whole armor, God. Listen, he had the whole armor.
You better say it, Rondisha.
Don't say, listen.
Bring the whole armor. We wasted our money on them 25,000 troops.
Right.
He had the whole. He had the whole
Joe
armor.
said, look, Joe said, if y'all look at the state of this country right now, this is what I need. I need niggas.
That had to be Bibles, man. That had to be the King James, NLT, and the Message Bible. That had to be a parallel Bible.
It's some of
That
the
was a parallel Bible. That's what that was.
it has to be, because I'm pretty sure that that Bible has got books in it and verses in it that mine don't have. It has to. It just has to. There had to be some missing books.
See, that Bible got 2 Corinthians in it. That Bible got 2 Corinthians.
First lady, where you at?
Oh man.
I want to go back to Michelle for a moment, because somebody brought this up, that how you feel is how you dress. Like how you feel is how you dress.
That's
And
very
somebody brought this up. I didn't bring this up. Somebody sent this to me, and I just thought it was hilarious. It's Michelle from Trump's inauguration. She just got on a little jacket, a little hairpin back, look like, oh, Barack, you gonna make me go. And then today, she came stunning for a boy Joe. Nikisha, you tell me that is how a woman's appearance indicative of how they feeling about the event?
I want to say absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm ready to go, I'm getting decked down. If it's an all right occasion, I'm gonna dress. I mean, I'm gonna be decent, but I'm right there with Michelle.
I think how you
all the women came to slay. They slayed today.
I said yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I mean, I don't know. They had the pantsuit thing. I don't know what it is.
It was amazing. They look fabulous.
Yeah.
Listen, I told my wife, listen. If I was Barack and Michelle would have came out, look, I had to text Joe, man, I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it, Joe.
Joe, I got a little cough going on.
I love you, Joe. You my boy. But I ain't gonna make it.
Think about this though. Think about this though. How you dress says how important you think
that person is.
Not even
what that engagement is. Absolutely.
Wherever you're going, how you dress shows how important you think it is, right? If you're going to the mailbox, it's gonna show you just going to the mailbox. You're going to the grocery store, it's gonna show you going to.
You trying to say Michelle was looking like she was going to the America?
Michelle, like, let me just put this on real quick, get this over with, and
she was the outgoing first lady at the time, so she technically, when she got dressed, she was still the first lady. When you get in transition of power, you're not out of office until 12 noon, January 20th. So when she got dressed as the first lady of the United States of America.
Knew where she was
going. She had on with her hair.
Like,
she knew where she was going.
She didn't go to nobody else.
She was going home.
She goes like, man, let me just pin this up. We going to the crib after this.
It was just a stop.
I'm
It was
going
just a
home.
stop before the final destination.
Just a little lip gloss, a little pin up. Let me get my little suit together. Yes, yes, yes. That's just ocho.
But speaking of women, Nikisha, we made history. There was a lot of history to be made today.
A
We're gonna
lot of firsts too.
a lot of firsts. We can't help but to talk about the first female vice president of the United States. And I know, Nikisha, we talked about this. You're representing the ladies tonight. We talked about this coming up. But to see this, you have girls. To see this,
Hmm.
in person. Again, we thought we would never see a black president. And I think before we thought we would see a black president before we see a female vice president. Seeing it, you knew it was coming, but seeing it, witnessing it, how did it make you feel?
Literally, I had chills. I was overwhelmed with joy. I literally clocked off for a few moments and just embraced the moment. And it just really made me realize that whatever we set our minds to do, we can really do it. And if the right people are behind you and they can back you, it's going to happen. So it just literally gave me a sense of overwhelming joy. Like, yes, even though I don't want to be any type of government, that if I wanted to, the stage has already been set. I can definitely move forward to that. So just allowing me to see that, my daughters, even my sons, it was just a very monumental, historic moment. Watching other people and hearing everybody rude, like literally when I went out to go do a few errands, I saw a lot of women with pearls and chucks on. So it literally just set the foundation to say, we got your back, even though we far away, we proud of you. It was just amazing. Like this day I'll never forget, ever, ever. I'm just happy about it.
Again, Ms. McCoy, you married to a brilliant, beautiful black woman, getting ready to bring one into the world, a daughter, my grand goddaughter. What do you when you look at that? Can you see your daughter being on that stage or being at that level? Does it give you hope to know that as a man who's getting ready to start raising a daughter, that sky is really, you can literally teach her now officially that the sky's the limit as to what she can be in life?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the historical aspect of it, I mean, obviously, blacks being able to reach that many years ago was almost unheard of, right? A woman, even more so, right? So there's that part of it, but it as I was watching it, something came to mind that a lot of people don't step out and do things because they've never seen it done, right? They've never seen it done specifically for the black community. If they haven't seen it done by someone that looks like them, it's harder for them to want to step out on faith and do something, right? So the thing that dawned on me is my daughter will be born into a world where she won't even know that this was impossible, seemed impossible.
Wow.
That's good.
Like, she
Wow.
will literally not know what it's like to not have had a black president. She won't know what it's like to not have had a woman in that role, right? So it just goes to show you how important it is that we break those grounds. Just how important it is that we blaze those trails, because there's a generation coming behind us that we could literally change their mindset. Like they will be born with a whole different mindset because of the work we've put in and the work we've done. So that really, as I was watching, I'm like, man, my daughter's going to come into the world with a black woman as the vice president. You know what I mean? And I started to think about my daughter, and then I also started to think about my grandma, who lived in a time where she did not think this would be possible. And
Wow.
to have those polar opposites, right? Someone who never thought they would see this, and a little girl who this will be all she knows.
She
That
knows.
was
That's awesome.
just really powerful to me. And I think, you know, and the reason I posted a picture of her and Obama, and the caption was something along the line, this is bigger than politics. This has nothing to do with politics. Everybody that has watched this show for a while understands and knows that I haven't always agreed with Madam Vice President. I haven't always agreed with politics. I was very critical of her
Me either.
when she was running, very critical, right? But this is bigger than politics. This is bigger than politics because it shows our young girls, our young Black girls, that the trail has been blazed. You don't even have to blaze that trail anymore. It's already been done. You just need to walk in the footsteps.
Absolutely.
Right? And it was just a very proud moment. You know, Black woman, HBCU grad. My wife is an HBCU grad. It was just really a proud moment to see that and to see that in a time where, you know, racial injustices and all the racial tensions, that we were still able to rise to the top in a sense at the end of it all. And I thought that was just a very powerful moment. And I think we should all be proud. No matter what your politics or your political view is, you should be proud.
And as you were talking about that, it dawned on me that really, well, however you feel about it, a Republican started this trend. Let's not forget, it was John McCain who introduced and brought a woman onto his ticket.
Yeah.
Now he picked probably the worst one in Sarah Palin,
Right.
but he opened the door
Yeah.
to the possibility of a woman being in power. And it's interesting, a lot of people said at the time that was a death sentence for John McCain, because a lot of staunch Republicans could not support a female in power, which is why a lot of people went against Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, yeah.
So we can see, watch this, it took someone like a Donald Trump to put Joe Biden in a position to where he needed to pull two groups of people to win: women and Black folks. Yeah. And so it's just interesting how things, as we believe in scripture, all things work together for the good. Yeah. I don't think this would even be possible if we had not had 4 years of Donald Trump. Because we all know, let's be honest, Joe Biden was kind of put in a corner at some point to have to pick a female. And then he got pinned in a corner to pick a Black female.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, hey, you know, and I don't want to be the show that, you know, that Trump will listen to and then use this to pat himself on the back. But it goes to show you how all things can ultimately work together for the good. And as you were saying that, I thought about that. Well, you know, I also thought about something else as you were saying this, and this is kind of off subject a little bit. I thought about my favorite show, Keith Sutherland, and I thought about 24.
Our favorite show.
Yeah. So 24 introduced us to something that we thought we would never see.
Yeah, it sure did.
For those that don't know the show, 24, that was the greatest show on television in its day on Fox. I think it still has the highest rated show on Fox ever. Introduced us to two things we thought we would never see: a Black president and a female president.
And that was in the first season they had the Black president.
Right. The first season they had a Black president. And in the last season, they had a female president.
Mm-hmm.
I think Keith Sutherland should, you know, he should be posting about that, man. Like, y'all old man. I because you got to think about this, and it dawned on me as you were speaking. It's all about what we see, right? Mm-hmm. As you said, your daughter will see this. She won't know what it's like to not have a black person. She would have seen it.
Right.
What we see ultimately can become reality. That's why it's imperative that we guard our children as to what they see.
Right.
Because seeing ultimately will become believing.
Absolutely.
And so, I just, as you were saying that, I just thought
Good.
about that. But there were several women today, several females that just took the show for me. All of the ladies,
Yep.
first lady, second ladies, they showed the show. We know Kamala Harris stole the show. If I was 10 years older, me and Barack we would have to be scrapping.
Oh,
But
Lord.
there was another young lady
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
that
Yes. Yes.
stole the show. If my baby boy, I'm gonna say my baby boy because my oldest one a little shy, but if my baby boy was about 10 years older,
Oh,
I'd
God.
be having her in her DM.
Oh, God.
This Amanda Gorman.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
listen,
mean, oh,
she killed.
Magical.
Listen,
epic.
she
Phenomenal.
she's a millionaire. Listen, she's a millionaire.
She's about
What
to
she did today, she's a millionaire.
Mm,
she is about to go into a whole different stratosphere. I'm telling you.
absolutely.
Yeah. If
Jesus.
I'm her parents, I get her name. I get her. I get the rights to her name.
Hat and all of it, huh?
I put insurance on her voice. All that. All that.
I mean,
Because
good
what she
grief.
did today in front of the world.
Yeah.
Listen, she will be a
Elegant
household
at its
name.
finest.
Yeah. I mean, the way she spoke, and
Elegant. Oh,
not even
God.
just the way she spoke, but her words, what she.
Articulation.
If you really
Absolutely.
listen to it, and I said I was going to go back and do this. I want to actually read her poem. I want to read it so that I can really grasp what she was saying. But just little tidbits of what I was catching, I was amazed at what she was saying and how fitting it was for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I read somewhere that she was actually having trouble kind of putting it together, knowing what to say. And then the insurrection happened a couple weeks ago, and it said that it snapped. She's like, I know exactly what message it is that I need to get across. And just for her to the creativity, and I mean,
It was sharp too, boy. I mean, whoever dressed the boy, they must have known that she was going to make us some money. Jack.
It was amazing. And I read that Oprah gave her a gift to wear at the inauguration, and it was a ring with a caged bird on it. Ode to Maya Angelou. And I think that is the route. She's gonna be the new age Maya Angelou. I'm telling you.
Oh, yes.
I thought you were gonna say that jacket because that she didn't get that jacket from Walmart.
No. You see the ring right down her right hand. That's the ring that was given to her, and it has a caged bird in it, as an ode to Maya Angelou.
I speak for a living. That's all I do. I speak for a living. I've been speaking all my life. When I was in my car, when I heard her say, Mr. President, I pulled over.
Yeah.
I heard her. I didn't see her. I heard her say, when that came through my speaker, I pulled over. I know $1 million voice when I hear it. I pulled over. I felt this way about 3 people in recent history. Barack Obama, when I heard him speak at the Democratic National Convention in 2004, I said he got a shot. He'd probably be our next president. Had never heard anybody speak. I'm talking about MLK, Jesse Jackson. When I heard him speak at that convention, I knew he had it. Andrew Gillum.
Yeah.
When I heard Andrew Gillum speak, I told everybody in my family, he will be the governor. He will definitely be the nominee for the Democrat. Everybody thought I was crazy. And this young lady tonight, when I heard her, I said, "Oh yeah." I hadn't even seen her face yet.
Yeah, she got it.
When she said Mr. President, I said that's it. She had the tone, the cadence. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
saw a poise in her appearance,
Yeah.
again, I'm in my car.
Yeah.
So I don't see the visual. All I see is the voice. All I hear is the voice. When I saw how she looked, and you're talking about millions of people to stand on that platform as a young lady,
Like she had been there before.
she'll
Right.
never be regular a day in her life.
No, that
Ever.
normal
So
is gone.
polished and poised. Like it was very breathtaking to see her up there. It's like you said, she's been there. Like it, the way she stood up there and had it all just so together, it was just like breathtaking. It was just like, come on, baby, talk that poem. I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. It really was. I was just so happy for her, and her elegance, how she articulated each word, like you felt the passion in some of the words she said to us. um
And let me
it,
And she
it
was spot on with what she said. She was
it
spot
was
on.
spot on, literally spot on, absolutely.
add this. I'm really big on role models and who and what we let kids look at and listen to. And because of that, I'm I want to say this nicely. I'm not a big fan of like the City Girls and Cardi B and um, some of these female rappers and things that um, whether they're living that way or not, I don't know, but what they say and how they portray themselves and how bad of an influence, right? The imagery of it, how bad of an influence that is for our young girls and even for our young men too, that they would subject women, our black women to that, being sexual figures and being vulgar and whatnot. We have to really role models like this young lady today. That's what we need to be pushing. That is what we need to be pushing. That is what we need to be showing. That is what we need to be pushing them toward, because one, it shows us that it exists, and two, it shows us that look, you can be famous, important, and all these other things, and not have to be half naked, not have
Come on, B, say
not
that.
not have to, be vulgar, not have to be a rapper that's talking about all this crazy stuff. Right? No, there's other ways that you can do this, and she's a great example of that. She's a great example of that, and I think we, those of us who are raising young girls and or will be, we need to know. Look, there are other examples out there of what you can show them.
Right.
So I was blown away, man. I was blown away.
And to add to that, she is the Venus and Serena Coco of the sports world.
Right.
She could become that in the intellectual world, because as you were saying that, okay, we have some black, or just not even black, we have some female sports role models, but how many intellectual female, especially black role models do we have? As you're saying that, we're talking young, not Oprah, Maya Angelou. That's a different generation.
Right.
Younger generation.
Right.
That your children, and I think we need this both male and female.
Yeah.
Intellectual role models. Got plenty of athletic role models, which is no problem with that.
Right.
We need to highlight her marketability should be through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She should be on every. I guarantee you, she's gonna be on OWN. So we already know OWN gonna bring in. We already know Oprah gonna bring in. Tyler's probably gonna bring in her marketability. And this is where, again, going back to what you said, this is where I'm troubled with urban television. Always have been.
Yeah.
BET, well, we know they're not even really run by blacks anymore, but when it was, V8, those, I forgot, I can't call the other channel right now. But if we can't highlight young people like her, why do we even want a network?
Mm.
Right. Right.
Why do the urban television stations that we watch feed into the stereotype?
Yeah.
The stereotypes of ghetto, cussing, fighting. And watch this, we're part to blame for it. Because
Keep
one thing
watching.
about television, they follow the ratings.
Right.
We say we want a certain thing, but the ratings don't suggest that. I don't think the Cosby Show will stay on the air in the 21st century. We have to, as African Americans, our appetite for what we want to digest has to change, which will force Hollywood to bring us better content.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Because if not, if we keep blowing up the ratings for the Desperate Housewives and all this other mess, that's what they're going to keep feeding us, junk.
Yeah.
And because there are other young ladies just like her. We thank God for people, and I'm sure one thing I can appreciate about Joe Biden, he has a lot of different people around him.
Absolutely.
And you can tell the intentionality of today's events. We saw somebody speaking Spanish. We
Mm-hmm.
saw a white man singing Amazing Grace. We saw Lady Gaga. We saw a black lady, black preacher. We saw America.
Yeah. Right. Right.
One of the things that we pointed out, no pun intended, no shade, at the Republican National Convention, when we saw that, is we can count how many non-white people were there.
Yeah.
We saw America today.
Yeah.
The melting pot of what is now known as America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, taking all political views aside, that's what every president should want to bring up. This is America.
Mm-hmm.
You look at, let's talk about Brother Eugene today. They featured him today.
Yeah.
You know that under the past administration, if that brother had done what he done, he wouldn't have been mentioned. And Mike Pence made it his business to seek him out today, to shake his hand.
Right. He about saved his life.
Right. Because he knows he saved his life. I don't even want to talk about how, black people have been saving this country since God knows when. But what does this administration do? We see a heroic act. He gets elevation, gets promoted. We're going to highlight you. We're going to make you a part. He walked out with the presidents today.
Yeah, he was there.
They're escort, who was simply doing his job, but it got noticed. And that's what gives black men hope, to know that I will be recognized and noticed for doing my job. That every black man is not a criminal, but they're also heroes.
Right.
We can't overlook that. Urban television should be featuring gentlemen such as himself. We shouldn't have to rely on others to do what we should be doing for ourselves. That is one of the things that troubles me about urban television. It is just so, you didn't want to say it's just so ghetto, convoluted. I don't have to be politically correct. I got a job, and I'm good. I don't represent nobody but the Lord, so I'm all right. But it troubles me in my spirit, man, when I see this. And so I was so happy for her today. Man, if I find out she like younger guys, I'm gonna stick Joshua on her, man, because Josh, I come to realize I'm gonna pick his wife. I'm gonna pick my children's wife. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go coming to America with my boys. I'm going coming to America. Listen, I'm gonna ask this last question, man, and it's a realistic question. Who wants 45, man? You know, I'm looking at the temperatures is minus 45. I read an article that the people in Mar-a-Lago don't want them.
No, we
America,
don't want them in Florida. No.
America says they don't want them. Looking at pictures of Melania today, don't look like she want them.
Mm-mm.
Where's 45 gonna go? Who gonna take her, man?
Who knows?
Minus. That mean that right there, that also means subtract. Subtractions. I honestly,
Twitter don't want them.
no.
Facebook don't want them. Social media don't want them.
Don't want no.
I'm actually interested. Not that I'm interested in him, but just for my own amusement. I guess.
Gratification.
I don't want y'all. Some of y'all don't say where you want him to go. Don't say that he going. Don't say that,
Yeah,
Chris.
especially y'all that's passionate. Y'all behave now. I'm actually interested to see what his life after presidency is going to look like. Because
He done lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't see him really being really like sought after as a president. You know, as some presidents, I don't think he's going to be really sought after in that arena. I could see him maybe doing some rallies and stuff for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's, you know, he made a comment.
Explain. Scott said, Scott the DJ, my buddy, says he'll be more powerful. I think he'll be more powerful in the underground.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you need a platform to be powerful. And here's what, and this is where it's going to be the fight. Because no matter how rich you are, you got to have the backing of the machine, the Democratic machine, Republican. If you don't have that backing,
world at least, yeah,
it don't matter. Remember, Ross Perot was a multi-billionaire for years in the 80s and 90s. He ran for president every time and never got a sniff.
Right.
The only reason why Trump became our president is because the Republican machine decided to back him.
Right.
Right.
So that's neither here or there.
I don't think he'll have much success in the political arena. Maybe if he goes outside of that. If he goes outside of that, he has a chance because he has the money to finance it. But in the political arena, I don't see anyone dealing with him like that ever again. You know, so I mean, he might do that, but like I said, it won't be in the political arena. He would have to go outside of that to be anybody. He said something today in one of the speeches. He said, and I won't quote him because I don't know if I'm saying it right, but we'll be back.
That's what he said.
Right.
In some form. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said that. So I know he probably has something in the works to stay relevant. His base is deep. The problem is, I don't even like, what is his base going to be centered around? What's going to be the mission? I mean, we know they're white supremacists. We know they're racist, but what is their purpose going to be? You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see that because that's kind of his base. Outside of the people that just supported him politically. So I'm really interested to see what his future is going to look like. It may be behind bars. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we can scratch out he's a billionaire. He ain't no billionaire. That has been proven over and over again. He is nowhere near no billionaire. And I'm gonna end with where I want to leave. But trust me when I tell you, he been masquerading that billionaire status for a long time. That's one of the reasons why he won't present his taxes. Hillary been told us that. You know, so yeah, he's been masquerading, and that's the thing. And a lot of people have been saying this about Donald Trump for years, and it makes sense because he's filed for bank. Everything has crashed. So many things has crashed that he's owned for so many years, and he's been kind of masquerading himself. And one of the things that you learn, and when you start doing business, is that you're able to mask certain things just through credit.
Right.
Like you just got credit. And, you know, he owes so many people, but a lot of people, even before he became president, wanted to be connected to that Trump name. But the Doral is about to go under. Hear me when I tell you, the Doral is about to go under. That hotel on North Miami about to go under, because now all of his creditors are starting to pull back. Yeah. Because what we're starting to do as America is we're following the money trail.
And the thing is, people don't want to really be associated with him anymore. Like before,
that's what I'm trying to say. We're following the money trail.
Like, it's one thing before his presidency, he was an entertainer. It was, you know, that whole thing. But he's got a whole new image now. He has a whole new image now that people don't want to be associated with. So it's not the same kind of crowd as far as people that want to attach themselves to him out in the public, at least. People don't really want to be associated.
You don't have to go so far overseas because, and we didn't even talk about this tonight, but you got to understand that what happened January 6th was funded by somebody. 3,000 people. Some of those people had been living in DC for weeks in Airbnbs.
Yeah.
They had to fly there. Yeah. You can look at some of them people, not to be funny. You can look at some of them people and tell they ain't got no job. Come on, let's be real. You look at some of them. Somebody had to fund that. So as we're following the money trails and we're following the corporations, when these things start coming out, what's going to happen? So-and-so corporation help fund this. What's going to happen? We're going to start boycotting those organizations. We're finding out who's lending Trump money. That's going to get out. And so, as you said, Brandon, these creditors, these banks, they're going to start to pull back because they realize their affiliation and association with Trump is going to cause them to lose billions.
Right.
Okay. And so the thing about this is Trump knew this from day one. If you follow the money trail, the circle way back, and I said this 4 years ago, everything Trump did was strategic. For those of you that are watching, who remembers? Remember now, we just saw a transferring of power. We saw Joe and Jill going into the White House. Don't forget, when 4 years ago, who went to the White House? Just Donald. Just Donald went. Remember, Melania didn't go.
Yeah, right.
Remember, she stayed in New York.
Yeah.
It was bigger than they don't like each other. Why? Because where the president and the first lady stays, America has to stay.
Right. They got to pay for it.
They got to pay for it.
Yeah. So
Melania, you stay in New York for the kid, educational purposes. We don't want to interrupt school. Man, go to private school. Got a private tutor. You stay in New York for months. So what do you think has to happen to where he stays? That has to be upgraded. We have to renovate the whole floor. Secret Service has to go there. All these renovations. Now, Brandon, Nikisha, once they renovate something, you can't unrenovate it.
Right.
Once we upgrade it, you can't downgrade it.
And you know the spot in Palm Beach got the hookup. I mean,
and the same thing with Palm Beach. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Camp David to vacation.
Right.
I want to go to my winter White House in Florida. I'm gonna go vacation there for a few years. So what has to happen?
Gotta upgrade
in Mar-a-Lago.
Gotta upgrade, right?
We gotta upgrade that too to be presidential. All things new. Once you do that, you can't undo it. So now I got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of upgrades to my properties on the taxpayers' dime.
Yep. Crafty.
All this done on the taxpayers' dime.
Yeah.
Remember when he was trying to send the G4 summit to his Doral? That's when they pumped the brake. Like, nah, bro, we already see we see the handwriting on the wall. You were trying to see the G summit right here in Doral. They cut. That's when they finally got some sense.
And these 4 years probably gave him a chance to catch up. I mean, what has he paid for in 4 years?
Right.
What has he had to pay for in 4 years? Nothing. So whatever debt he had, like it was all all just income. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have to pay for nothing. So this gave him 4 years to catch up.
Right.
Yeah, he's gonna make not mind you, Trump's gonna make some money. There's a lot of people out there. We're not gonna say he's gonna grow. He's gonna make some money. He's not gonna have any power to do anything. You want to know why? Because as crazy as America is right now, they're in a state of suppression. They trying to suppress these ideologies. They're trying to suppress this racism. They're trying to suppress it. Trump wants it to rear his ugly head. They're trying to suppress it. And so that's where it's clashing. Trump let us know this stuff ain't went away. Everybody else trying to keep hiding it. So they're not going to allow Trump, because what will happen is if Trump starts to do what he wants to do, you know what? We'll never see another Republican in office again.
We won't support it.
Never. And we're starting to see it. What happened in Georgia, what happened in Arizona, what happened to every single red state in this country. Because nobody in 2020 with social media and all this stuff, we seeing what happens to all the Karens of the world. Nobody wants to publicly be attached to that. Because they understand the power that the people possess. Nobody wants to willingly and openly be attached to that. They'll do it privately now, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But openly, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And so, where's he going to go? I got to, as you said that, I reminded of this. I saw this clip today and it reminded me of Trump. I want to play it real quick.
I don't understand. What happened to all that money?
Make the call.
I saw that clip and I thought about Trump. You know what I thought about, Nikisha? I thought about that $150 million he raised a few weeks ago. try to defend the election.
Right.
Packed up and gone.
Where did all that money go? That was Trump walking out there with them bags.
Undetected, smooth criminal.
And almost
he walked out of there with them bags, and people still giving to this stuff.
Still giving. That's the crazy part.
There were people there to greet him when he landed in Palm Beach and stuff, and I was blown away. Yeah, there was people there to greet him. They had lined up and flags and everything.
Wow.
Which, have you ever seen that before from a president that lost? No.
I think I need to move to Fort Lauderdale. I'm too close.
Right. And the thing, and this is why I keep trying to tell people that this is idolatry. Like, we've never seen that. You know what I mean? We've never seen that. That's idolatry. That's what it is. It's a cult. But one of the ladies, they interviewed her. She said she was crying. Okay. And she said that this was the saddest day of her life. I was like, well, I guess she hasn't had any deaths in her family.
The saddest day of her life.
I guess she maybe hasn't had anything. She said this was the saddest day in her life. That Donald Trump not being president was the saddest day in her life. I mean, some kind of life, if you ask me. But
yeah, he is like a couple of miles from you, Nikisha.
I know. I might need to.
You might run into him at the grocery store.
Well, that's all right, because my house coming, so I'm going to go that way.
So Scott asked the question, do you think Republicans are going to change their reputation over the next 4 years? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because Well, we know for a fact that Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden are really good friends.
Yeah.
They are really good friends. And if you remember, Obama didn't have the Senate when he was in office.
Right.
So when he was trying to pass Obamacare, it was Joe Biden that was able to talk to Republican senators to get them to vote in the favor of Obamacare. And years later, John McCain came and put the death nail to it not going away. So while Republicans may not change, what ends up happening, and this is why, him being at the top of the ticket is significant, because we know this for a fact. A lot of things didn't happen under the Obama administration. It wasn't because it wasn't good.
Right.
It wasn't because he was a Democrat.
Right.
It was because he was black.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Let's just be real.
No, it's so Biden already has more going for him as far as the support he'll get from them.
That's some certain bills. Absolutely.
He's a white man. He listen.
Right. He's a white male, and here it is. Republicans are in a tough spot.
Yeah.
They've heard the voice of the American people, and they understand that the ideologies no longer line up, and we're in a pandemic. See, the Trump card is the pandemic. People are hurting. So even Republicans who may not have thought, oh, we don't like to spend. Well, we got to open up the checkbook because everybody hurting. This is not just a poor man, Democrat. No, everybody's hurting. So a lot of the ideologies that a lot of Republicans had, they don't even have them anymore. Healthcare and all that. They're starting to see how important healthcare is for everybody.
And I think
so everybody's going to have to come closer to the middle now.
Right.
I believe now more than ever before.
And I think Biden can do it. And I think as far as their reputation changing, I think it's gonna be a matter of who you ask. As far as the Trumpers, their reputation may get worse. The Trumpers they already show that they aren't feeling the Republicans because they started backing out on Trump. So the Trumpers are on things.
They wanted to hang Pence a few days ago.
Right. So you ask, their reputation may get better amongst Democrats and amongst some true Republicans when people start to see more of a unified thing going on, more collaboration. So I think they have the ability to better their reputation by coming together and working together. So they have the chance to. Joe Biden has said that's what he wants to happen. So I think they do have a chance to better their reputation just by being open to working across party lines.
Agree. Definitely agree.
Well, guys, that is our show. Next week, I wanted to kind of talk about some pop culture type of stuff. Really didn't get a chance to get into that tonight. When I talk about that, Lori Harvey and some other things we kind of want to talk about to kind of simulate and stimulate the conversation. But we didn't get a chance to talk about that. Let me see. I got another question. I'm gonna see if I want to answer it before we go. Now that the church evangelicals is racially divided more than ever, what is our next 3 starts that must occur in the next 100 days to heal? Ooh.
That's deep.
That's a good question because I haven't heard any evangelicals today. Did Paula White start to pray for the president chant today?
Nope, didn't hear.
Are we still praying for the president, by the way? Should we?
I think it is a tough
was
question.
that just I don't know. Was that a 45 thing? Was that a president? Because it seemed like we skip when we pray for him.
I mean, how long has Paula been around? And we've never even she's never been even involved in politics.
Until now.
Until 45. She never been involved.
Wow.
All of a sudden, she was just political, figure. I think it's hard. There's a lot going on there, right? But as far as the evangelical church, the only people that can fix the damage that they've done is them.
Is them. Absolutely.
Okay? The black church can't do
And
it.
us that's in there. Don't let me get started on that again. And us that's sitting up in there.
Why would you still be sitting up in there? Would be my question, but whatever.
Hmm.
I think the only, as far as the destruction that they have done, I think only they can fix that. Now it's going to require them to back off some stuff they said and whatever else, repent. I don't know, but I think only they could fix. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like they have to fix it. Like they're part of the reason that it's broken, so they have to lead the healing. And the thing is that, and not to make this a black-white church thing, but the thing is that the black church forever has had the task of trying to heal people, trying to heal our culture, trying to heal our country, trying to heal the things that have happened to black people, right? So this isn't something that's foreign to the black church, but the white evangelical church, they have to lead. If they really want to do the Christian thing, right? If they really want to do the godly thing, this is their moment to do it. All the mess and stuff that they stirred up during this whole thing, they got to take the lead and either say we were wrong. I don't know what they need to say, but we got to take the lead on bringing this thing back together because they divided it. So, now obviously as a black church, there's some things we can do, but do they even want us involved? Do they even want to be unified? Do they want it? We don't know. So
here's step one, I think. Step one is and this is for both parties. Take God out of this politics stuff, man.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make
that earlier.
Any one of these parties the godly party.
Right.
That's step one.
Yeah. The president is not, I said this earlier, the president is not a pastor.
Right. That's the first thing that we got to do. We got to stop trying to make
church
one party the godly party, because when you look at the principles of either party, there are certain principles that go against God.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
In both of them, yeah.
Right. So I think if we start from that premise alone, there will be healing. Because these people, Republicans will really try to force you to say, if you're a Democrat, you can't believe in the principles of God because of X, Y, Z.
And to further what you just said, I don't know we're up against the clock, but to further what you just said, it's almost like we've made it to where God needs these parties to carry out his plan and his will.
My Lord.
Right?
Wow.
It's almost like we have
right.
Wow.
We have minimized God in such a way where he needs political parties to carry out what his will is. The scripture says that the government will be upon his shoulders, not that he'll be upon theirs.
Come on now.
Lord have mercy.
So
I'm gonna buy some more time right now. I'm gonna buy some minutes.
God doesn't need the government.
Right.
So why God did not allow for these governmental entities to come into place so that his will could be the church.
We one nation under God.
The church is supposed
to play. That's what the prayer said.
So we and the whole separation of church and state thing, remember, like that's always been a big thing. In a sense, we kind of got to do that. We kind of got to do that. We got to separate church and state because they are not, the government is not the agent above which God is carrying out his plan through. He's carrying out well individually and through the church and through the work of ministry. It's not up to the president. So we got to change that mindset because none of the parties are the godly party. God does not need a party. God does not need an elephant or what's the other one? Or a
A
donkey,
donkey.
right? I saw something that, forget the elephant and the donkey. We need to be relying on the lamb.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we gotta get out of that. We gotta get out of that. It has nothing really. Do they intersect in certain areas? Yes, but it really don't have anything to do with each other.
Right.
I'm trying to find the offering graphic. Hold on, let me raise the offering. See. Let me see. Oh,
Look at
oh,
him.
never mind. Oh, let's say put cash out. We need some cash out or something.
$sign ZCP2.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Because we forget that America ain't the only nation in in this world. The God we serve is not an American God.
Right.
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 You know, it says the earth is the Lord's, right?
Right.
So, number one, the whole party system to me is what's dividing this country.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed.
1,000%. 1,000%.
You can take people from different sororities, they'll work together. People, I don't like the sorry Cowboys, right? But people that have different sports fans, we can get along. You've been in the same arena, wearing two different jerseys.
Maybe.
God is a Knicks fan, I'm a Heat fan. We can go to the same game, sit next to each other, root for different teams, and walk out the tunnel together.
And be all right.
You take those same people and take the uniforms off and give them red and blue shirts, it'll be World War III.
Yeah.
So the party system, to me, is the demonic system that's dividing us anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In other countries don't even have party system. You just vote for the best guy.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
That's the way it should be. Yeah. Yeah.
So now we know that it'll be a long time before we get to that. But we can start to come closer together, and I want to say, and I hate to pin this on him, to kind of give him credit, but I think 45 made it so divisive that they're going to come together. A lot of it's going to be for the sake of their own jobs, man.
Yeah.
Because these senators and these congressmen, they've been used to eating off the taxpayers' dime. And what these past elections, because it ain't done yet. This was the first wave of the establishment. You talk about draining the swamp. No, the American public has started to drain the swamp.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not the men. Maybe next week we'll talk about some of these ludicrous pardons that president did. And that's a whole nother show for a whole nother day. He pardoned nobody of significance. We'll talk about how people paid basically to get pardons and other local. I don't even want to get on the local guy he pardoned. Lord have mercy. That might have been a waste of pardon. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next show.
I'll spit that one out. I'll talk about that one behind the scenes.
Yeah, he got pardoned. He probably gonna be back before the pardon ink could dry.
Pastor, I said that.
You said it, not me. Great.
Hey, I told you I got a job. I don't. I'm good.
I ain't
applying it to other churches right now, so I'm kind of good where I'm at. But it's going to be interesting to say the least these next 4 years. I just, again, forget about policy right now. I just like the way the country feels right now. It's just me. I just like the fact that my president is not fussing at me, cussing me out, and mad at me because I'm not a staunch Republican.
Right.
I'm just grateful that I can look at the staff and look at people in Pennsylvania Avenue, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I see everybody. Because I haven't seen a black person around Trump in a long time. He only had one left, and that was Ben. We ain't seen Ben. When the last time we seen Ben?
He probably in the projects.
I ain't seen Ben in months.
Right.
Ben was literally the only black person Trump had around him.
Yeah.
And so that's not the America we're looking at. That's not the America we want to be. So, guys, it's been our show. Maybe the bishop will be back. I really do think she left the show because her main man is gone.
Oh, 4 + 5
But
is gone by 5.
negative, man. I don't know how long you think the forecast gonna be, man.
Listen, I don't think it's gonna change.
Oh Lord.
I think we are, with this global warming stuff. I don't think the forecast.
Man, your wife gonna freeze to death, man. If it stay 45, man.
This shit gonna be cold.
We tell my daughter to come and turn the heater on, man. We trying to get it to plus 40, at least let it get plus 46.
Yeah, we got. I'm gonna go try to work on that.
That thermostat broke, man.
Yeah, man, it was messed up. It just won't move.
Oh God. Oh, your wife said dinner time and the dinner about to get cold. We love you guys.
Go, y'all.
Be blessed. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully the same cast of characters plus one more. We'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed, man. It's been real great dialogue. God bless America. God heal our land. Bye-bye.